Hello, I'm Mike Winkler, and I'm the Principal Managing Broker for CBBain in Kent, Washington.
And I'm E.J. Bolds. I'm the Principal Managing Broker for CBBain on Mercer Island, Washington.
You know, E.J., in our last video blog entry, we talked about agency. And so now let's talk about agency in terms of how a broker works with a client and how a client works with a broker.
I think that one of the big things that consumers are perhaps a little bit confused with is exactly how their broker gets paid. And it has to do with commissions. Explain how commissions work, Mike.
Well, I'll try and do it in a nutshell. A seller, the owner of the home, signs a listing contract with the firm. And out of that total fee, actually three, the firm, the listing agent, and for the consumer's sake, the buyer's agent gets paid.
And so one of the things that the consumer needs to realize that until that transaction actually closes, none of the agents are getting paid. So there's no check every 2 weeks during the process of buying a house. And one of the important issues, I believe, for the consumer and for the broker is that they need to have a commitment to one another and have a relationship that allows them to go through this process that we're working on.
Well, and I would argue that the fee structure as it exists in real estate today is very effective because it drives loyalty on behalf of the broker to the client because they don't get paid until the home closes. But aside from that part, the other piece with the commitment is the loyalty. And you know, when you hire an attorney or a physician to work with you, it requires absolute honesty and good faith in dealing with them. They can't diagnose or help you in a court of law unless there's complete honesty. And really, there's no difference in real estate either. You have to have that kind of communication with your client, and vice versa.
I think that's a great illustration, Mike, and so important for that relationship. The other piece that I think sometimes gets overlooked is the fact that many times as buyers and sellers we think about the signing of the contract when we all agree on the terms of the sale, that's really what this sale is about. And there's a whole other piece about managing that transaction that's equally as important. In other words, that's how we actually close that transaction.
Well, and this is a great illustration. This is the process from the beginning with signing the listing contract with the seller to the end with closing, where the buyer gets the keys to the home. And as you can see, and I know for our viewers that this is a very busy document, but that's exactly the point. The entire transactional process is very busy, and both the listing agent and the selling agent are working very diligently to have a successful closing.
And so again, I think that the point here today is that for consumers and for brokers, they have to make sure that they start that relationship correctly with talking about agency, talking about commitment, talking about expectations, because it's that important, and there's so much going on that has to happen before we can have a successful ending.
That's it. Well, I'm Mike Winkler.
I'm E.J. Bolds.
Till next time.